Hey everyone, Christafurr here. Today I'm going to be explaining how to get Sylveon with the hidden ability Pixellate and 6 perfect IVs, as well as the right nature. Now, as we can see, my Eevee here has the hidden ability Anticipation. To get a Sylveon with the hidden ability Pixellate, you need to have an Eevee with the hidden ability Anticipation. Unfortunately though, you can only catch an Eevee with the hidden ability in raid dens. Now the den I was able to find Eevee in was located at Modastoke Riverbank. Just to show you where on the map this den is located, it's right here, right where I'm standing at the red arrow and smiley face. As you can see, it's just after the bridge. Usually there will be a Snorlax near this den standing around. Now after you have successfully caught yourself an Eevee, you are going to need to breed a female with the hidden ability Anticipation with the correct nature. The reason is because females have a higher chance of passing on their hidden ability to the next generation. Now in the most general way possible in explaining the breeding process, you want the female to hold the Everstone so it passes its nature on. Then you want a Ditto with 6 IVs to hold the Destiny Knot so it passes its IVs on. The Destiny Knot can only pass on 5 of its 6 IVs, and whilst that's one IV that's going to be randomized, you have a much higher chance of breeding a 6 IV Eevee with the hidden ability Anticipation and a Modest nature. Now there are other competitively viable natures, however I have chosen Modest as per recommendations from Smogan because I want my Sylveon to deal more damage, and naturally speaking speed stats aren't that great in a Sylveon, so a jolly or timid nature just isn't really gonna matter when matching it with a naturally faster Pokemon. So the way around this with Sylveon is to use move priority to your advantage. Now I'll explain a little bit more in depth later on in the video, however once you get your 6 IV Eevee with a Modest nature and the hidden ability Anticipation, what you need to do is teach it a fairy move. Any fairy move within its move pool is fine. I myself specifically have chosen the move Charm in this case. Now once you've taught it a fairy move, the next thing you are going to do is hop into your Pokemon camp. In order to evolve your Eevee into a Sylveon, you are going to need to max out its friendship levels completely to 5 hearts. You can do this quite easily, however, just by playing with one toy till it's bored, then changing to the other, then speaking to it and finding out how hungry it is and if it's time to feed it. Feeding it at the right point is key to getting those 5 hearts quickly. If you feed it too early, you miss out on friendship points you could be gaining from playtime, so make sure you feed your Eevee after it's completely bored of playtime or when it tells you it's hungry. Incidentally, you can also check where its friendship level is when talking. Now, once you have all 5 hearts and you exit out, you just need to level your Eevee once. After that, it will evolve into Sylveon. Now please, please, please make sure you don't skip teaching it a fairy move before you enter your Pokemon camp. I've done that only to watch it evolve into a different evolution, causing much frustration and head desking. Now that all said and done, let's backtrack and talk about why Sylveon's speed stat will not matter in competitive play as much. So, as I said earlier, Sylveons naturally have a slow speed stat. Even with hyper training and feeding it nutrients or Eevee training, it's still naturally going to be slower than say a dragon type like Dragapult. This is why there's no point going for jolly or timid nature and why Modest nature is the Smogan recommendation. You can run it with bold as well, however, but the strategy with that nature is different as it's a little bit more defensive. However, I'm raising an attacker, so Modest it is. Now the question still remains, why run a Sylveon offensively at all if it cannot even get the first attack in due to having naturally a slow speed stat? Well, it's a combination of a few different things, however this is where Sylveon's hidden ability truly comes into play, as its effect literally changes any normal type move into a fairy type move. This means moves like Quick Attack and Hyper Voice can become fairy type moves, which is insane. Why? Because it means Sylveon can use move priority with a move like Quick Attack, which if you read in the description always goes first. Now I won't explain how move priority works, it gets a little complicated as different moves have different levels of priority and speed stats are recalculated in different ways depending on the priority as well, but to put it simply, Sylveon's stab damage is beast if you pair it with a move that has higher priority against a dragon, dark, or fighting type. On the flip side, you will need to choose some coverage moves against its weaknesses such as steel and poison type, and as you can see, I've gone with a fire move, Mystic Fire, to deal with steel types, and Psyshock, a psychic move for poison types. Now there are many different moves you can teach Sylveon, here's a list of them. Ultimately though, it's up to personal preference and what you want to choose for coverage moves. The moves I have gone with are under recommendations from Smogan as well as from my own research into type advantage. At the end of the day, the meta could shift in competitive play for any reason. If you have your own ideas, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below, but other than that guys, thanks so much for watching my How to Pokemon videos. This was was the first video in the series, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, subscribe and click the bell icon. Also, if you want to support my channel in other ways, you can join as a member on Patreon, where you can pay as little as $1 a month towards supporting my channel. And on top of that, you get all kinds of really neat perks, like behind the scenes access. You might even get mentioned in the video credits. Anyway, it's been fun, trainers. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!